Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now I'm seriously considering changing the name of my channel from DC Daily to DC something or sometimes, because since I'm not an influencer, I don't feel the urge to wake up every morning scrambling about getting my script together and making a video on some product or some gag that had happened on something that's trending. So since I'm not an influencer, I don't feel the urge to make daily videos. Hence, I've decided to change the name of my channel from DC Daily to maybe DC Sometimes, maybe DC Often, or maybe DC Frequently, or something like that. So anyway, do suggest what you feel could be a good name for my channel. As you can see, I've just taken a shower, washed my hair. It's Saturday. I'm off today. Okay, so this was brewing inside me for quite some time. A particular topic on which I really wanted to talk about, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree. A lot of people might get triggered, and well, for a lot of people, a lot of doubts may be dispelled. So what is this topic? Brace yourselves. It's spirituality and religion and mind control. So before I start talking about spirituality, religion, cult behavior, mind control and all of that, I would like to give a little background on my personal spiritual journey. I don't want to call it an awakening because I'm still waking up. I'm still waking up to the reality. So from a very young age, I was interested in the occult. Now, let's demystify this word a bit. The actual meaning of the word occult means hidden, secret. What occult? Occult knowledge. So from a very young age, I started reading up on occult stuff like palmistry, numerology. I was very interested in paranormal stuff, paranormal activities. From a very young age, I started learning about poltergeist activities, soul, what is the soul, what are humans, why are we here, what is God, what is our purpose in life, what happens after death. We don't talk about death too often. Remember, I made this video some time back. So what happens after we die? Where does the soul go? Do hauntings really happen, or are they imaginary? So I was pondering on all these questions, all these issues from a very young age. I would say from 11, 12 years old, I was very deeply interested. But I didn't really, what happens when you're in school and stuff. And back then, of course, there was no internet. Yeah, that's right. I lived in an age where there was no internet. Well, my first tryst with the internet was when I was in high school. So before that, nothing. So all we had were books and lived experiences and television, of course. So I would always be very interested in all these things. Then when I grew up, I personally experienced 4-5 types of cults or groups, or let's say new age spirituality stuff. I went through it because I wanted to know what is the answer. What is life? What is this reality? What is this world? I was really deeply interested. So when I was working as a journalist, we had this little camp in our office by Sri Ravi Shankar Sudarshan Kriya. 2-day camp. I was very interested because I thought, okay, maybe this is a start. I did the camp. I didn't turn up the second day because I thought it was complete bullshit. Like, you just breathe. You breathe and then there's too much oxygen in your head and you feel slightly lightheaded. I mean, perfect grounds created to embed all mumbo jumbo ideas into your head, right? So I realized that early on. I didn't turn up for the second session. It was bullshit. It was waste of time. At a very crucial juncture in my life, I got introduced to Okay, I must talk about Wicca. So, as you can understand, I was determined to experience everything, all kinds of spiritual stuff, new agey stuff. So again, when I was working as a journalist, I thought of getting into Wicca. Wicca. Okay, for those of you who don't know what Wicca is, it's like this ancient pagan practice, or I don't want to call it a religion. Well, it's kind of like witchcraft. You call that Wicca, Wiccan knowledge. It's basically pagan stuff, very druidic, very derived from a lot of ancient Egyptian teachings, etc. So I joined that. First day I went to this seminar where the high priestess, she's a very famous person in Kolkata. She wanted to initiate us. So we were there all dressed in black everything, black top, black bottoms, black shoes, black bag, black everything, and everything had to be black. So she called the new joinees for initiation, and we all lined up, and she placed a little quartz crystal in our hands, in our palms, and we received those crystals, and we were asked to meditate on those crystals. So of course I did that, because I wanted to go all the way and realize and understand, what is this? Is this really magic? Is spirituality really actually magic, sorcery? What is it? So yeah, I did that meditation with the crystal, and we were told that while meditating on the crystal, you will feel your palms tingling, and that the crystal will become hot, and it will, it may also give out sparks, like little electric shock kind of sparks. So all that kind of happened, or maybe I was imagining it. But the fallout of Wicca for me was, I couldn't take that energy. I thought it was, the energy was heavy, very very heavy for me. And in fact, I was asked by the Wiccan practitioners, the seniors, that maybe this is not for you. Okay, maybe you should look for your answers somewhere else. I got sick. I got really sick. I got fever after practicing that for like 2 days straight, and I thought, no man, what is this? Yeah, I can't be sick. I can't be feeling negative and down while doing so. It's supposed to give you solace, right, to your soul. It shouldn't make you feel heavy and redundant, right? So I left Wicca, but my search continued. So where did my search bring me to next? So next in line was Yogoda Satsang, started by Paramhansa Yogananda. So I registered for the, what is it called, self-realization fellowship. So all these printed material would come to my place, and there would be instructions on how to meditate, and those were very complicated. Okay, so, and one thing I didn't get, I mean, when you're meditating, why should you keep imagining or visualizing lights and stuff? Aren't they supposed to happen spontaneously? So anyway, I did that, because again, like I said, I was like absolutely determined to find out what is going on, what is behind all this. Is everything really an illusion? So I did that self-realization fellowship. I think I was into it for about a year and a half. I'll tell you what happened while I was doing that. Disaster after disaster happened. I became extremely depressed. I don't know. I mean, my personal life was badly affected. I was very depressed. I turned to alcohol. I was also broke. My financial condition just slipped and slipped and slipped. But in those literature, I was told that do these meditations, everything will be fine. So I used to do those meditations. Nothing was fine. Things just became worse and worse and worse. So after a year and a half of self-realization fellowship by Yogoda Satsang, Paramhansa Yogananda, and Trust me, believe me, I have read all the literature, everything that is there regarding each of these spiritual practices. I've read everything possible. So, anyway, so after a year and a half, not happening because my health was declining, my financial condition was in total disarray, my mental state was so volatile. I thought it's not happening. Like, what is happening? Why am I not being able to? And there was a sense of guilt, like this is supposed to improve my condition, right? But no, my every kind of condition, all the parameters were like in a steady decline. So anyway, that was out of the window. So what do I pick next? I picked Reiki. So I attended a few workshops, trained under a Reiki master who seemed all nice and everything. I have nothing against the masters or people who teach and all of that. I have nothing against anyone, in fact. um, so Reiki, and I trained in Reiki. I got a second degree certificate in Reiki, and I was anointed as a practitioner. So in Reiki, when the master anoints you, you're supposed to sit on a chair with your eyes closed, and there's nobody supposed to be there, and probably the master does something above your forehead, because this area was tingling, you know, like when it itches, you constantly feel like itching. So this area tingled so badly, and I was fighting, my eyes were closed, and he asked me, he was asking us not to open our eyes till the anointing thing was done. So I was like desperate to open my eyes and just go kuch 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 like that. It was itching so badly, but anyway, I resisted. So the anointment was done, and I was very happy, got my certificate. Now I can do Reiki, I can like understand chakras and energy channels and everything. I tried it on myself. I could feel that magnetism thing happening, so when you place your activated palms on any chakra, have you ever tried to put two magnets together, similar poles, and how they repel? You know that repelling feeling. So when I would place my activated palms on any of these energy centers, which we call chakra, I would get that repelling kind of a feeling. So, well, I could understand that there's something there. There's some kind of an energy there which was creating this repelling effect, not ripple effect. Give me a moment. So yeah, very happy. Second degree certificate. A day later, I fall really badly ill. Okay, I get this very bad flu with bad body ache, and I'm talking about this will be in 2015, 14, 15. Very bad body ache, high fever, congestion and everything, and I suffered for about 2 weeks just after this Reiki workshop. So this was the third time my health declined after doing any kind of spiritual practice. What was next? Reiki was done and dusted. What was next? Of course, how can I miss out pranic healing? Now, oh my god, this is something that I've gone deep into, on the insistence of someone very close to me who is a pranic healing practitioner themselves, and I got into it. First of all, let me tell you, pranic healing sessions and classes are very expensive. Like, for the basic pranic healing training, like level 1, which is like the first level, I think I spent around $6,000-7,000 bucks. $5,000 though I've spent, like, for sure. So I did that basic thing. Then there's advanced pranic healing. Then there's something called pranic psychotherapy. Then there is advanced psychotherapy or something. Then pranic crystal healing. And then the ultimate thing is Arhatic yoga. So there's this thing called Arhatic yoga, and people who do Arhatic yoga are called Arhats. So in their terms and languages, which is like mostly Buddhist, derived from Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism mostly, I guess. Arhat means like the one who's achieved that realization. Anyway, lots to say about that and mostly negative. But anyway, so I got into this, spent the money, did the courses. Um, so the basic thing about pranic healing is healing from a distance, drawing energy from the atmosphere from in from one hand and directing that energy with the other hand to whichever part of your body or whatever is affected or energy feels congested. What I observed in pranic healing is most people who do these pranic healing workshops are of the following category: either very rich, uh, mostly non-Bengali, specifically Marwari housewives, or very low, what shall I say, slightly underprivileged people, Bengali people. So this was the demography. Okay, so in while we were being trained for pranic healing, there's something called the soul realization course. So while we were doing the soul realization course, there were these women who just, when the trainer was asking, why you studying this, why you doing this, so these women, they kept saying, मेरी सासू माँ मुझे बहुत परेशान करती है, मैं उनसे छुटकारा पाने के लिए, या फिर मैं वो कष्ट, उस कष्ट को ईज़ करने के लिए आई वॉन्ट टू डू प्राणिक. सो बेसिकली इट्स लाइक keeping themselves engaged in something other than home, family, in-laws, etc. Just give me a bit, my throat is really dry, I need to drink. Yeah, so mostly Marwari women wanting to keep themselves engaged and busy, divert their attention from the vicissitudes of their domestic lives, handling in-laws, etc., etc. So this was the main motivation for most people, okay, most people. My motivation was, I want to get to the truth. What is this? What is this? What is the unseen factor that we are not seeing here? So this was always my motivation right from the very beginning, when I was a teenager, when I started delving into everything and anything to do with occult. As I proceeded with pranic healing, we were given a lot of literature, of course, as with each and every one of these practices, a lot of literature. So when I was reading them, there was so much about spirituality, occult, especially too many mentions of Madame Blavatsky, who was, well, Madame Blavatsky was a Luciferian. She was a, well, Satanist, so to speak. She did, start or laid the foundation for the Theosophical Society, but she was a Satanist. I've read all of Madame Blavatsky's literature, by the way. But the stuff about Madame Blavatsky and about occult in general that was presented in the pranic healing literature, I thought was so elementary. Like, it's like for a kindergarten kid. And I just couldn't, relate how is one supposed to know the reality with such washed out light versions of things of these kind of literature. So I kept having the feeling that everything was dumbed down to such a, and this is true for all spiritual paths, all spiritual practices which are popular. Okay, all spiritual paths which are popular, the literature, it will always be dumbed down for basic people to understand, for people, I'm sorry to say this, please don't attack me for this, please don't attack me for being an elitist, I'm not, but all the literature is dumbed down, made simpler for, say, your domestic help to also understand, right? So what about discerning people who really want to know the truth? So these pranic healing teachers, they kept dropping jargons, like Kala Chakra and Kundalini. Of course, Kundalini is like a buzzword here because people think, oh, you have to raise your Kundalini, that coiled snake which is lying at your base root chakra. It has to uncoil itself and it has to pass through all the energy centers and come here, right? Raise your Kundalini. So they kept dropping these terms. There was also some parts where in the books where they would teach us about symbolism. Okay, so I'm sure we've all seen that symbol where there are like two snakes on a staff. Then there's like one snake on the staff. So what is the difference between those two symbols? One is called the caduceus and the other is called the eclepsius or something. So there's a difference. One is used by the doctors, the other symbolizes the Ida Pingala rising above, rising beside the Sushumna Nadi, which is basically the Kundalini rising. So, and I would see these basic people all go, ha, okay. But these are not concepts for your ordinary layperson on the streets to grasp, right? Why are you. First of all, they charge such high fees. I mean, in one of those sessions, this couple had come, okay, this Bengali couple, and it's very obvious from their attire and everything that they are not from a very well-to-do family, unlike the Marwari housewives who, some Marwari housewives were doing that course for the third time क्योंकि उन्हें पहली बार उतना समझ नहीं आया तो सोचा कि हम तीसरी बार कर ले ताकि थोड़ा समझ में आ जाए. So there was this couple. I'm just keeping the mic here, can't hold it. I hope I'm audible. Yeah, so there was this couple who'd come from not the city but the outskirts of the city, and the way they were dressed, they were not like us. They were from a deep suburb, and in fact for them these 2 days of seminar meant they just packed their bags. They were carrying their bags and jholas and everything. They came here, did the course. Maybe they will just sleep on the pavement or something, do the part 2 of the course the next day, and then take the train and go back to their thing. And for this 2-day thing, per person we were spending something to the effect of 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 rupees. And what are they learning? Do you think your ordinary train ka public, the people who travel on trains daily, your domestic help, your this help, that help, do you think they even have that if they have, very good, but do you think they have that capacity to even grasp what Kundalini is, what it means to do Kundalini rising? What could be the possible side effects? Nobody talks about side effects. Nobody talked about side effects, but this couple I was I was seeing were doing all that, taking the energy from the atmosphere and doing that healing, everything. And you know how they teach when they when you try to feel the energy between your palms, maybe you're not feeling anything, or maybe you are, but the way they will suggest to you, it's like power of suggestion, that even if there is nothing, you will feel something. So it's like using power of suggestion and kind of mind control to make you feel, oh, I'm learning so much, but you're actually learning bullshit, nothing, because it's so simplistic. These courses, workshops on new age spirituality are not for the discerning seeker of truth. Let me tell you that it cannot be. If you are a discerning truth seeker, if you really want to know what the hell is going on with our world, who are we, why are we flesh, why do we worship gods, who runs this world, what is this reality that we see, and is there a reality beyond this which we cannot see? These kind of courses are not for discerning seekers, okay? This is the most important disclaimer. So back to pranic healing. A main part of pranic healing practices is meditation. Oh, that is another thing. I have so much to talk about meditation, especially guided meditation. And pranic healing is all about guided meditation, where you put your headphones on, switch on the audio, and the master, the great grand master of pranic healing, I don't want to take any names. The grandmaster of pranic healing's audio is there, and he kind of guides you. Now close your eyes, breathe from your right nose, breathe from your left nose, breathe out, imagine a light, imagine a line crossing from your ear to ear, one line crossing from your temple to forehead to back of your head. In the intersection of the line, imagine a light, blah blah blah. I mean, why do you meditate? Why do people meditate? People meditate for some calm. Trust me, there's no other benefit of meditation. There's no other benefit of meditation. The only most acceptable benefit is that it brings a certain level of calmness. That's it. And if you do it daily, it means you're a very disciplined person. That if you do something daily, you're a disciplined person. So apart from instilling discipline and giving you some moments of calm, meditation has no purpose. Trust me. And I've also dug up on what the actual meaning of meditation is from Greek philosophers, what it actually means. Also studied what meditation implies in Buddhism. It's not what we do as meditation, especially the ones where we put on headphones and listen to someone giving us instructions on what to imagine, what color light to imagine, what type of sound to imagine, what feeling to imagine. So when you're doing this pranic healing meditation, you're actually not meditating, you're just following some instructions, and accordingly you are visualizing inside your mind. So what help is this? It's not. It doesn't help. So there's a problem there as well. First of all, these things are too simplistic. Too simplistic. I mean, it can't be that knowledge or occult knowledge, which has been written so much about, there have been so many practitioners doing so much, there are theories. I mean, these cannot be distilled into a pamphlet and just distributed to all and sundry and expect that okay, they will know, and oh look, my kundalini is rising. It doesn't happen like that. And in fact it is dangerous. It is, nobody talks about the side effects of of these energy centers in our body. First of all, why do, look, our body is not just flesh and blood, okay? That much I think even now mainstream science is kind of catching up to this entire spiritual aspect of our existence, that everything is not matter. There's something beyond that as well. Frequencies, vibrations, dimensions, etc. So that's another topic, like completely a different topic. I don't want to get into that right now. But what is the effect of these meditations or practices on our subtle body, on our aura? Okay, aura is another word that this pranic healing camp talks about so much. Like, we have so many auras around our body. There's one like this, then there's another one which surrounds that, then there's another one which surrounds that. So my question is, when you're doing this to get the energy from the ether and directing the energy, how are you so sure? If your aura is till here and till here, how are you so sure that the energy that is coming into your receiving palm is the etheric energy, is the divine energy itself? It could be your own energy. It could be the person who's sitting next to you who's like a bloody cheat or a turkey or something. Uska energy might come, and then you're directing that energy into the sick person's body. I mean, what is this? It's like playing with energy, what they have successfully done is they've made a joke. All these new age spirituality cult and everything, they've made a joke on the actual subtle nature of reality. And I find this infuriating. They are misleading people. They're cheating people. They're robbing people, because these courses are not cheap. These courses are certainly not cheap. The highest course, I think, costs around 13, 14, 15,000 rupees in pranic healing. And I'm sure it costs, in other practices also, costs quite a bit. So, I mean, what is this? So, my point is, use your own discernment. Do not depend on some external factor that will come and you will do it every day, daily, like a good student, and you will be cured of all your problems. Your money problems will go, your love life problems will go, your other associated problems will go. It doesn't happen like that. Okay, trust me, it doesn't. Excuse me. So now that we've talked about new age spirituality, what about religion? Well, that is another cult altogether. I mean, again, it all ties back to the fact that we are always trying to look for something outside of ourselves, or some savior or godlike figure or angel like figure outside of ourselves to tell us what to do or to help us better or improve our lives. Why can't we do it on our own? Why can't we create that power of discernment within us to judge whether this is good or this is, why do we need some external person to tell us, boss, this is, you don't do this, it's not a good thing, or you do this, this is a good thing? Why do we need an external force to tell us, boss, don't kidnap, don't rob another person, don't kidnap another person, don't hurt another person, don't rape another person, don't murder another person? Why do you need an external force to tell you that? Same goes with God, religion. Why can't this discernment be developed on an individual basis at every individual level? Imagine, had we done that, all these people, all these charlatans. Oh, I forgot to mention, speaking of charlatans, it just reminded me of Jaggi Vasudev. Very recently, I was like, my search for the truth again was leading me into another cul-de-sac, which is what all these spiritual things are. These are cul-de-sacs. They keep you entangled, sorry, these keep you entangled and enmeshed so that you cannot see or realize the truth for yourself. They just cover your eyes with a veil. So why do you need an external thing to make you realize that? So I was almost about to enroll myself in inner engineering, Jaggi Vasudev, oh my god, and I was so mesmerized by his talks. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? God. Something just clicked in me, one day when I was watching his videos, and I was almost subscribing to his Isha newsletter and checking out the cost of his inner engineering course, when a naughty idea struck me. I thought, I want to see what is there in this inner engineering course. What is the material? Search the net. Obviously, these days, these things are available for free. You get them in PDF format or recorded audio format. I checked out a few levels of that. I managed to get them and I checked them out. So elementary. Like, I'm gonna pay a certain 1,000 rupees for these 12 lectures, which are nothing but wishy-washy vagary, anecdotes and comparisons and metaphors. Like, why do you want to use so many metaphors to make me understand the truth? Just tell me directly on my face. So then, after reading all these simplistic, extremely simplistic literature, I felt that all these things are nothing but mockery of the truth, nothing but mockery of the human being, actually. Like, how easy is it to make a person believe that something is wrong with them and that only this can help you? How easy it is to take advantage of people's vulnerabilities, people's misconceptions or ignorance, and make money. Tomorrow, if I feel like, I can do it. I just need to invest some lakhs and I can do it. I can become a Baba. I can't become a Baba. I can become a Ma or whatever, a guru. So my point is, use your discernment. Don't follow any of these gurus. Don't register for any of their classes. Read material. If you're a real truth seeker, you will have no dearth of material to read from. Trust me. I am reading books. I have done the entire gamut of new age spirituality, but thankfully I have come across a lot of books and other literature material which are serious, uh, which have the actual deep knowledge. So again, the thing is, if you're an authentic truth seeker, the material will come to you. But if you just want to, be part of a cult or a group and do, on certain days of festivals, you want to do, tralala all night and feel all spiritual and everything and worship the moon. And first of all, little anecdote, when I was very small, when I was still a toddler, like जब mom dad मुझे तभी भी गोद में लेते थे, इतनी छोटी थी मैं, I used to be very very scared of the moon. So I wouldn't go outside. So balcony में जब भी मम्मी मुझे लेके जाती थी अपनी गोद में, और जब भी चांद ऊपर आसमान में चांद दिखाई देता था, मुझे बहुत डर लगता था. मैं मम्मी को बोलती थी कि मुझे नहीं देखना है, I don't want to see the moon, please take me inside, and I would cry and everything. So I think moon worship is not a good thing. I don't think anything good comes out of moon worship. There are many other reasons which I will not get into right now, but avoid moon worship. Avoid all those congregating on a full moon night and doing either satsang or meditation or prayers or invocations. Avoid doing that. Because if we believe ki there is a subtle world also out there, like flesh and blood, like material things, there's a subtle world out there, right? And you don't know who lives in that subtle world. And activities like these, meditation, especially group meditation, you never know what kind of influence is coming on you, right? Nobody tells you that. All your spiritual teachers, trainers who give workshops in return of money, with which you pay for with your hard-earned money, they will never tell you that, there's something called channeling, by the way. Okay, channeling. Human beings in a certain state of mind can become very very active channels. Okay, there is great deal of literature on channeling. It's something that's been going on for I think from the 18th century or 17th century itself. Okay, so, and there have been papers written on this. Please do your research. Don't just agree to do a huge group meditation under the moon and then feel like, oh, spirituality, I'm so spiritual. No, it doesn't work like that. And you never know what you're actually bringing into your body. If there are energies, if you are doing this and this, which means what? There are energies. Do you know what kind of, do you think there's just one kind of energy, like God energy? There may be so many different kinds of influences and energies and entities. Nobody will tell you that. And you're just like opening yourself up energetically to God knows what. Which is exactly what had happened with me. So anyway, this is what I wanted to say. It's a long video, but I am sure a lot of people will resonate. Please, if you get triggered, don't watch this. Forget about this, delete it from your timeline or something. If you watch this and if you feel that it's helpful, don't step into that trap of new age spirituality. Develop your own discernment. You know yourself the best. It takes time. It's hard work. Spirituality is not love and light. Oh, think positive. Nothing will happen. Just think positive. Do meditation. Do mudras. Do some mudras and everything will be fine. Imagine a white light, imagine a blue light, imagine a orange pumpkin. You know, some it these things will not work. Period. Not work. Develop your discernment. Face your own darkness that is within you. We are not beings of light. We have major parts of darkness in us. I do. We all do. And we have to realize it and we have to face it. We have to reconcile it. We cannot banish entirely the darkness in us, but at least if we acknowledge it, that okay, this is how I am, this is the way I feel when something like this happens. Need to work through it. As long as you realize this, acknowledge it, that it exists, trust me, you will be guided to the right path. And it all comes from within. You don't need any guru. First of all, you don't need a guru. It's bullshit. It's been fed to us since centuries. Again, that entire guru culture, guru movement is something that I will talk about. And I have a lot to say about gurus, all these spiritual gurus who have, influenced many people's lives, especially in the last century or so. Century and a half. I have a lot to say about them. So don't follow any guru. Look into yourself, face your own darkness, and just generally be kind to people. Be kind to people. Don't hurt anyone intentionally. Don't kidnap, don't kill, don't rape, don't rob. That's it. That's it. What else do you need? What else do people need to know to lead a functional, healthy life with good interpersonal relationships? Nothing else. Why do you need spiritual guru mumbo jumbo? Don't. Have fun in your life. Be good. Use your power of discernment. And well, that's it. Nothing else. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope I have been able to shake you up a little bit, to sit up and take notice of what's happening and how many of you have been fooled, including myself. And that's it. Do your bit. Stay happy, stay healthy. I will not ever say stay safe, because there's, it's just another psyop, staying safe. So stay happy, stay healthy, rock it, do what you feel like without hurting another person. So that's it from me now. Oh, and yes, please let me know what you feel. Also, let me know what should the name of my channel be now that I'm not going to do daily videos. So yeah, that's it. I will see you again next time in my next video. So till then, bye bye.